Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Ina Chapman and Mr. Chairman Asantino Lewis.
Thank you so much. On behalf of Overseer Pastor Chapman, my husband, lover, and friend, I welcome you all here on today. I just thank Governor Cuomo and Kathy Hochul, our Lieutenant Governor, for all the support that they have given this campus and this village of ours. At this time, we have Asantino Lewis, our chairman.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the $500 million urban national model for economic development in the Fruit Belt community in the city of Buffalo, we welcome you. This is our faith-based and God-driven initiative, creating hundreds of jobs in construction, small business, healthcare, wellness, energy, entrepreneurial training. Again, we welcome you, and we are here supporting Governor Cuomo in his quest for re-election to the governorship. Thank you. And now I'd just like to introduce and bring up Council President Darius Pridgeon.
Are there any winners in the house? This is too quiet for a victorious Tuesday. Are there any winners in the house? Are we bringing it home Tuesday? So look, growing up, I used to play a lot of games. That's when you're supposed to play games, when you're a kid. I used to play a game called Scrabble. You know, you get what you're given. You got to come up with words. You get points for the words. I used to make up some words and hope nobody challenged it, you know? Then I played a game later called Uno. They give you some cards. You got to, strategically do stuff. But my favorite game was called Monopoly. As a kid, y'all remember Monopoly? Yeah, you had to buy houses and hotels. You had to buy houses and plazas. You had to buy railroads. You had to get the most money. And then you got to knock other people out because you had the most money. You got to beat other people not because you really played well, but because you had a lot of money. The reason we have to come out Tuesday, because there are people who think that because they have money or because they have influence, that they should be elected to office. But Monopoly has a new game out. It's called Monopoly Cheaters Edition. Folks, we've got to get out and vote, because some people think that they can cheat and still be elected. They think that they can steal and still be elected. We need a state government. We need people in the federal government. We need people in the county. We need people in the state who don't cheat. This is not a game. This is real life. Get the voters out to the poll, or else people who have cheated their way to the top will be in office. That's not what we do here. It's time to put people and keep people in office who know this is life. Congratulations, Democrats. Congratulations, Governor Cuomo. Congratulations.
Now, why does this always happen to me? It happened to me once at a Hillary rally. They always tell me I'm not going to follow the Reverend Darius Pridgeon. Because he gets up here, he speaks for 30 seconds, there's nothing left to say. We'll see you folks. Thanks very much for coming. Go out and knock some doors, right? So, hey, thanks for coming out on this cold and rainy morning. I lost track. A few days ago, I was watching the weather, and it had rained something like 33 of the last 39 days, right? So you know, it's cold outside, right? But it's warm in here. It's dark and gloomy outside, but it's very bright in here. And it's gloomy outside, but it's very upbeat here. And with help from you folks, it's going to be even more upbeat come Tuesday evening. So I want to thank our host here at St. John's Baptist Church. We want to thank the Reverend Michael Chapman, but especially his wife, Ina, who is here today, the pastor's wife. We've got a great program for you here today. In a few minutes, you're going to hear from Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame running back, the immortal number 34, Thurman Thomas. Our great governor, Andrew Cuomo. Erie County Executive Mark Polenkars. City of Buffalo Mayor, my friend and colleague, Byron Brown. And our own Western New York native Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul. Now, who are all you people? Is organized labor out there someplace? I think I see organized labor. I see the Laborers Union. I think I see some Niagara Falls firefighters out there. Huh? Yes? We got some Niagara Falls, Niagara County in the house here today. Thank you very much for coming out today. So, I want to acknowledge the following individuals who are here tonight. And again, if we accidentally left you off the list, we're very sorry about that. Someone that you're going to hear from here shortly, New York State Senator from the 63rd District, Tim Kennedy. Erie County Democratic Chair, Jeremy Zellner. Empire State Development President and CEO, Howard Zemsky. Niagara Falls City Council President, Andy Tuma. Erie County Legislative Chair, Peter Savage. Erie County Legislator, Barbara Miller Williams. Western New York Building Trades President, Paul Brown. City of Buffalo Common Council Member, Joel Ferletto. Richard Fontana. Chris Scanlon. Ulysses Wingo. Rashid Wyatt. I think we have a quorum. City of Buffalo Controller, Mark Schroeder. UB Student President, Gunnar Haberl. Niagara Falls City Councilor, Bill Kennedy. Genesee County Democratic Chair, Michael Plitt. Candidate for the New York Senate, future colleague of Senator Tim Kennedy, Joan Siemens. Candidate for the New York Senate, another future colleague of Senator Kennedy, Karima El-Bahari. Now, I told you it's been raining a lot, right? So there's a lot of water in Western New York. Well, you know, if the good Lord gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? So what are we going to do with all that water that's been falling here? Well, we're going to turn it into a great big blue wave on Tuesday, right? So I think Nate McMurray gave me this button, right? It shows a big blue wave, and it's got this date, 11/6/18. That must be something important, right? But one of the things I hadn't noticed, I looked real closely at this, and there's actually a little figure, you can barely see it on there, surfing on the wave. And I looked real closely, and it's our next speaker, Senator Tim Kennedy.
All right, good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? You know, first of all, let me start by thanking our hosts here today, Minister Chapman, Pastor Chapman, and the folks at St. John's. Can we give them a great round of applause? They're always so gracious to have us here. So we're here for a rally, right? Can I have the folks sitting down stand up? Why don't we get warmed up a little bit? Come on, let's wake up a little bit here. So we're here for a rally. You know, you never know what the speaking order is going to be when you show up. So I show up, I'm told I'm behind Mayor Dicer. I was just very, very happy to hear I was not following Bishop Pridgeon today. I didn't bring any board games. I didn't bring any pins, but I brought a message. And the message is a message that we all share. And it's time for Democrats to take back the majority in the New York State Senate. It's time for Democrats to take back the House down in Washington. It's time for Democrats to take back the Senate in Congress. It's time for us to send a message back to the White House that we're not going to take it anymore, right? Are you ready? Are you going to join me on Tuesday and get out there and vote? Are you going to go tell your family and your friends and your neighbors? It's time to get out there and vote. And we've waited a long time for this day coming up in a couple of days, haven't we? Tuesday, November 6th. We've waited a long time. Just about 2 years, right? Think about where we were 2 years ago. I'll tell you where I was. I was down in New York City, waiting for the next president of the United States, Hillary Clinton, to be elected. And it didn't happen, did it? And unfortunately, it didn't happen because many folks across this nation took it for granted and didn't get out there and vote. And what happened? Trump happened. And now we have to deal with the repercussions of a White House that doesn't listen to us, and a Senate in the United States that doesn't listen to us, and a Congress that doesn't have our back, and a Senate majority in New York State that is kowtowing to the negative agenda coming out that's attacking working families across this nation. And it's time for us to send a message back to the White House this upcoming Tuesday. Are you with me? Well, I'm looking forward to getting out there with you. I know I'm in the house of great Democrats, aren't I? I know I'm in the house of leaders that care about our community, that care about working people, that care about the poor and the disenfranchised, that care about minorities, that care about women's rights, that care about civil rights, that care about human rights and labor rights. Are you with me? New York State, folks, think about where we're at. We're in Buffalo today, and we're going to send a message that's going to resonate across this state and across this nation on Tuesday, right out of here from St. John's, right out of Buffalo. Let me tell you something. New York State, historically, think about the amazing state we live in. All you have to do is cross the border out of this state and realize you're in a different world, aren't you? New York State, we often take it for granted where we come from. We're the birthplace of the civil rights movement. We're the birthplace of the women's movement. We're the birthplace of the labor movement. We're the birthplace of human rights in this nation and in this globe. And what happens in New York State resonates across the rest of the nation and resonates across the rest of this world. And this coming Tuesday, we're going to make sure we send a message that does just that. Let's get out there and vote. Let's get good Democrats elected. Let's take back this state, and let's take back this country. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Let's go get them this Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Ina Chapman. Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz. City of Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown. City of Niagara Falls Mayor Paul Deister. Senator Tim Kennedy. Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. And please welcome Governor Andrew Cuomo.
What's up? Is Buffalo in the house? Thank you for coming out here today to show your support for the future of this city and state to get out and vote ahead on November 6th. On Tuesday, we are facing one of the most critical elections in our lifetime. Buffalo and Western New York have had tremendous progress over the last 8 years, but ultra-conservative forces in Washington are threatening to take us backwards. We are fortunate enough to have a fearless leader in Governor Cuomo who has fought back against the federal government and made New York a progressive capital of the nation. The Buffalo News said, no governor since DeWitt Clinton has had a better friend of Western New York. And you see the results all across the region. Canal Side is booming, the Niagara Medical Campus is thriving, jobs and wages are up, and more people than ever before are choosing Buffalo to live, work, and to go to school. There's a new energy and pride across the nation, across the region. We simply cannot allow Buffalo to go backward. We've had more to keep the momentum moving forward. And that's why we are here with Governor Cuomo, because he is with us. He is on our team, and we support people on our team. Together with Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, they have transformed Western New York. So on Tuesday, let's show up to the polls, send a message loud and clear about the direction we want to take Western New York for the next 4 years. And now, please welcome my friend and yours, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. 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 Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are we fired up? Are we fired up? Well, let's first give a big round of applause to our great Mayor Byron Brown. Our County Executive Mark Poloncarz, Paul Deister, Senator Tim Kennedy, Ina Chapman, Howard Zemsky, the economic guru, and number 34, Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas had one of the greatest honors, retiring his number. And Lord knows he deserves it. His performance, his personality is seared into the heart of every person in Western New York. We love him. Come on, give it up for Thurman Thomas, number 34. Now, Thurman is my role model as governor. What I loved about Thurman is there were no excuses. He was going to get the job done. He was going to accomplish the goal. You never heard him say, you know, well, the line isn't giving me enough protection, well, this. He was there to get it done. And he got it done like no one else has ever gotten it done. And when you elected me to office and Kathy to office, we said we were going to get the job done. We were going to get it done. And it gives me great pride to be able to come to you 4 years later and say, you know what, we did what we said we were going to do. No excuses. We said we were going to turn around this state. We were going to go to Albany. We were going to get that state legislature working. We're going to get budgets passed on time. We're going to get taxes down for middle-class families. And the tax rate is down for middle-class families to the lowest rate since 1948. That's what we did. And this state today has more private sector jobs than ever before in the history of the state, over 8 million jobs. So we did it. And we came to Buffalo, and we said, we're going to work and we're going to turn around Buffalo. And a lot of people in the audience said, I heard that before, a few times over the past 50 years, and nothing changed. But we said it's going to be different this time, because we're actually going to get it done, no excuses. We're going to invest in Buffalo, we're going to work together, we're going to put together a team, and we're going to turn Buffalo around. And we turned Buffalo around. This is a different Western New York than it was 7 years ago. And Thurman is exactly right. You walk down the street, you can feel it. You look at people's faces, you can see it. Energy is back, hope is back, optimism is back, businesses are moving back. Young people are moving back to Buffalo after decades of leaving. Young people are coming back. We started, the unemployment rate was about 8%. 8%. You know what it is today? 3.9%. The proof is in the numbers. So, when a team is getting it done, and when a team is scoring points, and when the team is putting numbers on the board, leave the team on the field, because you ain't seen nothing yet. You think Buffalo is doing great now. You give me and Kathy and Howard another 4 years, and the sky is the limit. And let me tell you the other thing this election is about. This is about sending Washington a message. And it is very loud and it is very clear. Because you cannot play New Yorkers as fools. And they are trying to play New Yorkers as fools. Mr. Trump ran for president 2 years ago. Went all over the country saying, I'm going to be the guy who helps the middle class. I relate to the working men and women. And I'm going to be there for the middle class. Now, how the country ever believed this in the first place, I have no idea. But that's what he sold. And people were so desperate, they believed him. Desperation can have you do funny things. And when you really need to believe and want to believe, you can fool yourself. And he went and he said, I'm going to be there for the middle class. Well, now 2 years later, There is nothing he has done for the middle class. The middle class has gone backwards. The one thing they did, which he won't even talk about, none of them will talk about, Collins won't talk about it. The one thing they did was they passed a tax cut. You know why they can't talk about it? Because 80% of the benefit went to the top 1% of the richest Americans. That's why they won't talk about it. And shame on them. And then in that tax cut was something that actually is going to raise our taxes here in New York. It's complicated. It's called the SALT provision, where they eliminated the local deductibility. People don't feel it yet because it didn't kick in this year. It kicks in next year. But next year, New Yorkers' taxes are going to go up. We've been keeping the property taxes down with the property tax cap. We've been lowering state income tax. SALT is actually going to increase it. What they did to finance the tax cut for the richest Americans, they're going to raise the taxes on middle-class New Yorkers. New Yorkers. And then these congressmen went down to Washington and said, well, I have to vote for the bill, even though it hurts New York State, because Donald Trump is my friend. Well, you know what, Mr. Collins? I don't care who your friends are. You were supposed to represent the people of Western New York, and when you voted for a bill that raised taxes on the people you were supposed to represent, that was a violation of the oath he took to represent the people of his district. They were for the middle class. What's the first thing they turned around and did? Was they declared war on the labor unions with the Janus decision. The labor unions built the middle class. The labor unions protect the middle class. When you attack the labor unions, you attack the middle class. And you're not doing it in the state of New York because we stand arm in arm with labor. They then turned around and wanted to attack the Affordable Care Act. Why? First of all, because it was President Obama's achievement, and they just wanted to score political points in being able to say they reversed President Obama's Care Act. That's all they wanted, just to defeat his health care plan because it was his. And what they don't tell you is when they rolled back the Affordable Care Act, 4 million New Yorkers, we have 19 million people in the state, 4 million get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act plan. Think about that. And they want to roll it back. And the rates for people with pre-existing conditions will go through the roof. They're not worried about it because if you can pay for it, if you're rich and you can pay for it, you don't have to worry about it. If you're rich and you can pay for college tuition, you don't have to worry about it. But that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about people who can't afford to pay higher health care rates because they have a pre-existing condition. And you're putting them in a position where either they pay outrageous amounts for health care, or God forbid someone in their family gets sick and they're actually looking at bankruptcy because they can't pay their medical bills. They are determined to roll back the Affordable Health Care Act, and we cannot let them do it because it's protecting our middle class and working families. And then they ran as conservatives. Conservatives say small government, limited government, don't interfere on individual rights. That's the gospel of a conservative. These are schizophrenic conservatives. They're conservatives when they want to be, but when they don't want to be, they're liberals. So now they have their own belief of what religion is right and what lifestyle is right, and what a woman should do with her body, and they have their set of beliefs, which is great. God bless America. But they want to take their set of beliefs and impose it on us. Now, I respect your right to your beliefs and your right to your religion, but don't impose it on us. That, my friends, is anti-American. And what they're saying is they want to be able to discriminate against members of the LGBTQ community because they don't believe that's a proper lifestyle. And they want to impose that on us. They want to say, well, this is who I think should be married and this is who I think shouldn't be married. And then they want to impose that on us. They want to say, I have a moralistic view about what a woman should do or what a woman should not do when she is pregnant, and they're going to impose it on us. And we say, no, it's a woman's right to choose what she does with her body, not government's right. And we're going to send Washington a last final message for these last few days. You can't make fools out of New Yorkers. And we know what you are doing. You are desperate in these last few days of the election. You're desperate because the truth is catching up with you. And the truth will always eventually catch up with you. And the truth is catching up to them. And they're nervous because the more people know the truth and the facts, the more they're going to kick them out of office. That is what's going to happen. The more they're going to elect a Democratic Congress to put a leash on this president. That's what's happening. So what does the president want to do? He now is going to create a diversion. He's going to create a diversion by trying to create division. And he wants to talk about the border and the immigrants who are coming to the border and frighten people with the caravan that's coming to the border and scare people and get them nervous and distracted by the caravan coming to the border so they don't worry about health care and they don't worry about their labor unions and they don't worry about a woman's right to choose or the environment or not being able to pay tuition. He wants to talk about the caravan and play to people's fears. Their strategy has always been the same: divide and conquer. Make those who are different the enemy. He's done it from day one. You have problems in your life, you're afraid, you have economic issues. I'll tell you the answer. It's the people who are different. We have to get rid of them. You know, those people who are different, they have a different skin color, they pray to a different God, they speak a different language. They are the problem. And if we get rid of those differences, then everything will be good for you. Divide and conquer. Sow division. Spread fear. That's what they're trying to do on the border. That's what he has always done. He's tried to separate us racially, by religion, by sexual orientation. Separate, divide, and conquer. We're not going for it. This is not about a caravan coming to the border. It's about an administration that said they were going to be there for the middle class and then betrayed the middle class. We're not going to go for the voices of division. We're not going to be separated by black and white and brown and by gay and straight. We're not going there. You're not going to separate us by new immigrant versus old immigrant. We're not going there because this is America and we are all from a different place. That's how this place was founded. Who is not an immigrant? Unless you're a Native American, we are all immigrants. And we believe in unity. And we don't judge by the color of skin. We judge by the content of character. And we're not going to allow you to divide us. And we're not going to fall for your diversion. And we're not afraid of the people on the border. And we're going to focus on the middle class. And we're going to hold you to your promise. And we're going to elect a Democratic Congress and stop this madness in Washington. And we're going to elect a Democratic Senate in Albany. And we're going to protect New Yorkers so you don't take their rights. And we're going to elect an administration that brings Buffalo to a higher level still. Thank you and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Poloncarz.
Wow. It's bad enough I forgot my tie today, but I got to follow that. Wow. Congratulations and welcome back, Governor Cuomo, to our great city of Buffalo, our great county of Erie, and a place that you can guarantee is going to come out and vote for you on Tuesday, Election Day. I know that because you look at this crowd and you see exactly how fired up it is. But I can tell you right now, there are hundreds of people knocking on doors all across this community, talking to voters, reminding them why they must get out and vote on Tuesday. It's raining outside. We still have hundreds of people walking out all across talking about why they must support this great Democratic team with the top of our ticket, Governor Andrew Cuomo. The governor's right when he talks about the unemployment rate. The rate for the Buffalo-Niagara region is the lowest since they started keeping the records this way in the 1980s. That just doesn't materialize overnight. It happens because of a vision of community leaders like the superstars we have on this stage to say, we can do better, and it was led by our governor. Give him a round, yes. I've been around long enough on the face of this earth to go back to Governor Nelson Rockefeller. But I can tell you, from the bottom of my heart, there is no governor during my lifetime who's invested the time, the effort, the sweat equity, the money that this governor has, because he understood what we needed. We needed a little kickstart. New York City forgot about us. This governor didn't. And on behalf of the people of Erie County, I want to thank you. Thank you. As the governor noted, this is one of the most important elections of our lifetime. We know what's going on in Washington. We see the all-out attack in New York State. Governor talked about it, and what we must do to fight back against Donald Trump and his supporters. Well, that's what we're doing all across this region. Not only are we sending the message that we're going to send our governor, Andrew Cuomo, back to the governor's office, we're going to send our great lieutenant governor, our favorite daughter, Kathy Hochul, back as lieutenant governor. We're going to send Controller Tom DiNapoli back, and we're going to elect Tish James to be our next Attorney General so she can hold Donald Trump and his failed policies and illegal policies to the mat. But we're going to do one other thing, too. We're going to take back the state Senate because we're working hard on behalf of great Democrats all across the state. We're going to elect incredible new individuals to our New York State Assembly and tell those who stand with Donald Trump, not in our community, and we're going to send not just an individual to the dustbin of history. We're going to send him where he belongs, the trash heap of history. When we elect Nate McMurray to the New York 27th and tell Chris Collins, your days are done. And when we do that, we're going to send a message to people all across this country that Buffalo, Erie County, and Western New York are Cuomo country, and they're Democratic country because the Democratic Party stands for the ideals of the people in this community. Get out there and help us. Hundreds of people on the street, but we need hundreds more today, Sunday, Monday, and then on Tuesday. And if you do that, we're going to have one heck of a victory party on Tuesday night, and we send a message to the people. This is a community that's taking back its country. And it is my pleasure to introduce now someone who's sending this message all across New York State, the head of the New York Democratic Committee, someone who's gone to communities all across New York State saying, this is what we can do. And when he does it, he tells people about what our great governor did for the city of Buffalo and how he helped turn it around. Because, folks, don't listen to the fake news. It's real. This turnaround is real, and it's not ending. And one of the reasons is because of our great mayor, Mayor Byron Brown.
Thank you. Wow, what a turnout. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you all so very much. This is a great turnout. Let's give a warm welcome to Governor Andrew Cuomo and a big welcome to Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. I want to welcome you to Victory Central. That's right, this is Victory Central. Every time we have one of these Democratic rallies on the campus of St. John Baptist Church, we go on to great Democratic victories. I want to thank Pastor Michael Chapman and leading Lady Ina Chapman for the work that they are doing to help in the renaissance that we're seeing in the city of Buffalo. Let's give them a round of applause. Are you fired up? Are you fired up? I can feel it here right now with all of you. We are more energized than ever before because we need to stand up, fight back, and move Buffalo and New York State forward. Are you fired up? Are you fired up? Over the past 8 years, Governor Andrew Cuomo has made New York the most progressive state in the nation, raising the minimum wage to $15, passing 12-week paid family leave, enacting marriage equality, passing the SAFE Act, the nation's toughest gun safety law, providing free college tuition, and making record investments, $27 billion in our public schools all across the state of New York. Are you fired up? That's right. New York is the national beacon for equality and opportunity, and we need to keep it moving forward. But there's more to do. We are in the midst of a difficult political climate, and we have a president who is waging war on New Yorkers' rights and values. Are you fired up? Are you fired up? The only way we can bring positive change is to get out to vote. We need to send Governor Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Hochul, Tom DiNapoli, our controller, and Tish James, our next Attorney General, to Albany, back to Albany, working for us. We need to take back the U.S. House, and we need to flip the state Senate, making Andrea Stewart-Cousins the first woman to lead the New York State Senate. When we do this, we are protecting the rights and values of all New Yorkers that Donald Trump threatens each and every day. Every vote matters. Every vote counts. We only have to think back 2 days ago when Bach USA, a tablet manufacturer right here in Buffalo, New York, had to close its doors because of the president's tariffs. With the stroke of a pen, he imposed tariffs that shut down a Buffalo company and put 77 people in our community out of work. Are you fired up? Are you fired up? On Tuesday, November 6th, we all need to get out and vote like our lives depended on it, because they do. You need to come out and vote. Our families need to come out and vote. Our neighbors need to come out and vote. In Buffalo and Erie County, we need to come out and vote in record numbers. Are you fired up? Are you voting November 6th? And now, please join me in welcoming our dynamic, Buffalo's own first daughter, our Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Home at last, home at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm home at last. It is great to be here among all my friends, the individuals who are recognized behind me, but also our great Erie County Democratic Chairman, Jeremy Zellner, is here as well. Jeremy, thank you for all your support you've given me. And in light of these special events that honored Buffalo's own Thurman Thomas this last week, I want to recognize that we retired his jersey number 34. But Thurman, I just want you to know, I might be ready to retire all my blue dresses because I've been wearing them a lot with all this blue wave going on. I'm not ready to retire number 56 for our 56th Lieutenant Governor or number 77 for your Governor, Kathy Hochul. So we'll just keep yours retired, but we'll keep our jerseys on for at least 4 more years. How does that sound? All right, how does that sound? But here's a little straight talk from someone who knows you best, Buffalo. Let me help set the stage. 4th quarter, 2 minutes to go. We've got the ball, okay? Here's how we win the game. Now, right now, we're at the point where all the strategy's been talked about, all the coaching's been done, all the trash talking's been done. Well, maybe there's a little more of that, but we're almost done with the trash talking. The TV commercials are winding down, thank God, and we've got 2 minutes to do it. What do? You hand off the ball to the all-star team sitting in front of me right now, and you guys are going to bring home a huge victory for Western New York and Buffalo. You can do it. You can do it. Because when we win on Tuesday, that is not just about a win for the Cuomo, Hochul, Tish James, Tom DiNapoli, Kristen Gillibrand statewide ticket. It is also a win for the state and the people of this community. And we'll continue winning for people of Western New York, like the people that I met at the Northland Workforce Development Center who now have a new life because they're getting job training that's going to allow them to have a decent income. And for the senior citizens, it's a win for the seniors who now have beautiful housing to live on the east side of Buffalo, where there once was vacant buildings and vacant schools. And it's a win for the men and women of labor who know they're going to have countless more projects to get out there and work and earn a good, steady wage here in Buffalo. And it's a win for the women of the state of New York. And as the only statewide woman elected official, something I'm very proud to share with Tish James starting Tuesday. There'll be now 2 of us. How about that? I know we're going to continue fighting for women's reproductive health, fighting for child care, fighting for women who are now heads of household because they need to have our voices. So how do we get this win for all these great people? Well, 2 minutes to go. Here's the strategy. You are now something special. I've heard all this talk about the blue wave. It is now morphing into the U wave, okay? This is about what you can do for us now. This is what you can do for your community. This is the U wave. And what do you do with the U wave? You get out there, you leave here, and you walk until your legs are ready to fall off. You knock on doors until your knuckles are splutty and sweaty. You get out there and you call people and you talk until your voice can't utter another word. And you get out there on your social media and you send messages to your friends until your fingers are ready to fall off. That's what you do to win for Western New York. I need you. Are you with us? Are you with us? And not only are you going to win for all of us, I need you to win. Because this is personal, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to win. For Nate McMurray is our next congressman. Karina El-Mahari, Senator. Joan Siemens, our senator. Luke Wachensky, our next member of the Assembly. Karen McMahon. And a special seat, because there's not been a woman in county office since I left, Angela Marinucci will be our next county clerk. So, I got one question for all of you. Are you ready to rumble? Let's bring it home, Buffalo. Love you, and go Bills!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. Let's get out and get the vote.